Welcome to the Arizona Test Center, the largest automotive proving ground in the Nissan family. ATC opened in 1987 and comprises more than 3,000 acres with over 40 miles of test roads. Our goal at ATC is to provide a safe, productive environment to perform vehicle testing and evaluations. This presentation will introduce you to features of the facility and highlight safety guidelines. Anyone requiring access to the test courses, whether a driver or passenger, must complete the orientation process to obtain a driving permit, which is valid for 1 year. Test team members may participate in testing on a limited basis by obtaining a temporary permit, which is only valid for the duration of a particular test or event. Drivers with a temporary permit must have a fully permitted person in the vehicle with them when driving on the proving grounds. Test team project leaders are responsible for the overall safety of their project. Each team member is responsible for ensuring the safe operating condition of their vehicles. Seat belts are required whenever a vehicle is in motion. The speed limit in the building area is 15 miles per hour or 25 kilometers per hour. Test driving of vehicles is not allowed in the building area. Drivers must be sure that all ballast, test instrumentation, or any other equipment in the vehicle is properly secured to prevent shifting under any condition. Instrumentation adjustments and monitoring shall be done only after the vehicle is stopped. An on-site fuel station is available 24 hours a day. Notify ATC operations of any spills that may occur while refueling. In the event of an emergency, a power shutoff button is located near the fuel building. The fuel building contains a product testing lab and a cold storage room for fuel drums and is accessed by authorized personnel only. There is no smoking within 100 feet of the fuel station and lab areas. On the back of the building, a car wash is also available 24 hours a day. With the vehicle in neutral, drivers present their badge to the card reader to activate the car wash. Emergency stop buttons are located at the entrance and exit. An on-site weather station records ambient temperature, wind speed, and other measurements that may be required for vehicle testing. These readings are available from TC Control, inside the driver's lounge, or on the internet using a web-based application. Test course control, located near the entrance gate to the test tracks, is the control center for all activity on the different courses. Cameras focused on the testing areas are constantly monitored, and all radio communications from track users are answered by the TC Control officer. Each vehicle using the test courses must have a two-way radio operating on Channel 1 to call in or monitor track emergencies or changing status conditions. Radios may be signed out from TC Control and must be returned when testing is completed for the day. Before accessing the test courses, drivers should check the track status board located across from TC Control for the availability of the course they want to use. A green light indicates that the course is open for normal testing. Yellow indicates a caution on that course, such as inclement weather or a special test that may deviate from normal use. A red light means that the course is closed. Contact TC Control if your test area is not open for normal use. Only authorized test vehicles and individuals with a valid driving permit are allowed through the test course access gate. Headlights should be turned on to low beams. High beams are not permitted unless necessary for safety reasons. Unless otherwise posted, the speed limit on access roads is 35 miles per hour or 55 kilometers per hour. Traffic circle speed limits are 15 miles per hour or 25 kilometers per hour. Road signs and lane markings are the same as you would find on public roads. A white line on the roadway indicates the right side of a lane and yellow the left side. Turn signals must be used when turning or changing lanes. Several dirt farm roads intersect the paved access roads and test courses at ATC. Be cautious of farm machinery crossing the roadway in these designated areas. Access to and from test courses should only be on the paved roadways. Special arrangements must be made in advance with ATC operations for any testing which deviates from a road's original purpose. Safety should always be the #1 concern, and drivers should never drive beyond their capability. The durability course consists of various test features to perform accelerated durability, reliability, and corrosion testing. Speed limits range from 0 to 45 miles per hour or 0 to 70 kilometers per hour. Drivers must notify TC Control when entering or exiting the durability course. Driving direction is one way and is determined by the time of day. For this reason, lane markings are painted white on both sides of the roadway. From 4 a.m. to 4 p.m., drivers enter the course in the right lane from the stop sign. From 4 p.m. to 4 a.m., drivers will proceed from the stop sign to the left-hand lane. Features of the durability course include splash rough, fixed stone, Belgian block, and gravel road. Stopping or driving in reverse is not allowed on any of these road surfaces. Due to the close proximity of the two features, drivers entering the fixed stone road must yield the right-of-way to oncoming traffic on the gravel road. Other durability events include a backup road, mud splashes, salt spray, and frame twists. From the durability course, after coordinating with TC Control, drivers can access a 1.3-mile gravel oval and an off-road evaluation area. The gravel oval has 2 lanes. The outside lane is for normal testing. The inside lane, with its calibrated surface, is available after approval by ATC operations. The off-road area, with features such as boulder and river rock hill climb and a large frame clearance hill, tests the ability of four-wheel drive models. Corrosion roads, including salt mud, salt sherbet, and chipping roads, are limited to authorized corrosion test vehicles only. The grades course includes 16, 20, 25, and 30% grades for brake testing or other tests where a gradient is required. Speed limits range from 0 to 10 miles per hour or 0 to 15 kilometers per hour. Traffic is two-way but limited to only one vehicle or test team at a time. A signaling device is located at the entrance to the grades. A green flag indicates that the course is available, while a red flag means that the roads are currently in use. It is a driver's responsibility to set the flag appropriately when entering or exiting the grades course. Drivers of confidential vehicles should be aware that this is the highest point on the proving grounds and vehicles may be seen or photographed from off-property. The structural strength pad is used to confirm the structural integrity of the vehicle against severe input. Speed limits range from 0 to 30 miles per hour or 0 to 50 kilometers per hour. Structural strength features include a rail pad, drainage trough and catch basins of various sizes and shapes, and an impact curb at varying heights. High risk or destructive testing requires special permission from ATC operations. The Ride Comfort course is a 1.5-mile oval with a variety of surfaces for measuring road noise and vibration. Speed limits range from 20 to 75 miles per hour or 30 to 120 kilometers per hour. Stopping is allowed only in the parking area near the entrance to the course or in the speed bump lane number 3 where the maximum speed is 10 miles per hour or 16 kilometers per hour. Driving in reverse is prohibited. Surfaces include curved and straight undulating roads, coarse and fine aggregate asphalt, railroad crossings, and patched asphalt. The north curve on Ride Comfort has an entrance to and exit from the marketability course. The marketability course is a one-way, 2-mile road circuit used to evaluate vehicle dynamic performance in real-world conditions. Testing features include typical mountain country roads, broken and irregular concrete, uneven lanes, and manhole covers. Speed limits on marketability range from 20 to 80 miles per hour or 30 to 130 kilometers per hour. U-turns and driving in reverse is not allowed, and stopping is only permitted in the parking area. Drivers must call TC Control when entering or exiting the marketability course. Limit handling testing requires pre-approval from ATC operations. Although there are 2 lanes, passing another vehicle on marketability is not permitted. Slower vehicles should pull into the parking area to allow faster vehicles to pass before continuing testing. Along with its connection to the Ride Comfort course, marketability also has an entrance from and exit onto the high-speed oval. The Vehicle Dynamics Area, or VDA, is a closed facility available for shared use. Contact TC Control to allow passage through the gates. The VDA is divided into 3 distinct zones: a 40-meter radius dynamics pad, a 50-foot wide maneuverability area, and a large vehicle dynamics area that allows for up to 100-meter radius testing. Drivers must stop at each communication zone and contact the user of that area for permission to pass through to the next zone. Use of a radio or direct communication is acceptable. Drivers should use extreme caution when proceeding from the gate to the first communication zone and when moving between zones. Other features of the VDA include a 200mm drop-off curb and a brake water trough used for water intrusion or wet brake testing. The water level can be adjusted up to 650mm in depth. Maximum speed on the VDA is 80 miles per hour or 130 kilometers per hour. Exclusive use is required for high-risk testing such as high-speed braking or maneuverability testing. These tests may require a helmet or other safety equipment or a safety observer based on risk. A variety of traffic cones are available for use as markers. It is the responsibility of the test team to remove cones or tape markings when completed with testing. Paint or other permanent surface markings are not permitted. The low-friction facility, along with the noise pass-by road, are restricted courses limited to authorized drivers only. The city course simulates 2 city blocks of one-way traffic, each segment 1/10 of a mile long. A drainage channel, typical of a residential intersection, is located at the end of the first block. The speed limit on the city course is deemed a reasonable and safe speed for city traffic driving. Driving in reverse or stopping next to a vehicle already stopped on the course is not allowed. The right lane should be kept clear for through traffic. The heat soak area is designed to test a vehicle's cooling system or air conditioner performance against the severe desert heat. With the positioning of the 2 windbreaks, the radiator can be denied the cooling effects of the wind regardless of wind direction. The heat soak sheds can bring a vehicle to its maximum temperature until the driver is ready to test its cool-down performance. With the driver leaving the heat-soaked shed at wide-open throttle, a flashing red light on the building warns drivers on the high-speed oval that a vehicle with the right-of-way is entering the course. A cold-soak garage allows vehicles to be parked for an extended time at temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Inside of the cold soak, a hot soak garage can be set from 60 to 105 degrees Fahrenheit to prepare a vehicle for testing. Surrounding the other test courses, the high-speed oval is 5.7 miles in length with 3 13-foot driving lanes, 1.1-mile straights, and parabolic curves banked at up to 35 degrees to provide neutral steer at 130 miles per hour or 210 kilometers per hour in the center of the high-speed lane. The low-speed lane is for testing from 0 to 70 miles per hour or 0 to 110 kilometers per hour. The mid-speed lane from 60 to 100 miles per hour or 95 to 160 kilometers per hour, and the high-speed lane from 90 to 100 miles per hour or 145 to 160 kilometers per hour. Backing up is not permitted, and stopping in the mid or high-speed lanes is also not allowed. Stopping is allowed in the low-speed lane for a maximum of 10 seconds. Extended stops must be on the right shoulder of the track with 4-way hazard lights turned on. 4-way flashers should also be used to indicate an upcoming change in driving pattern, warning other drivers of an action such as sudden brake stop or aggressive lane change maneuvers. The 4-ways must remain on until the driver has returned to a normal driving pattern. Traffic lights on the oval indicate the status of each lane. Drivers must notify TC Control before beginning any type of lane change, lane restricted, lane deviant, or high-speed testing. A green light means that the lane is open for normal test traffic. Solid yellow indicates that a lane-restricted test is in progress in that lane. Lane-restricted vehicles will display a rear-facing yellow strobe light to alert other drivers that the vehicle may be traveling at slower than posted speeds and cannot change lanes to yield to faster approaching traffic. If it is safe to do so, faster traffic should move into the high-speed lane in the straights to pass a slower vehicle in the mid-speed lane. Passing to the right is never allowed unless to avoid an emergency situation. Lane-restricted vehicles will conduct testing in the straight portions of the oval only. The strobe light will be turned off in the curves, and the vehicle must yield to faster traffic by safely moving into the low-speed lane. A flashing yellow light in one or all lanes cautions drivers of a high-risk test such as brake stops or lane changes, or other conditions such as inclement weather or reduced visibility. Vehicles conducting lane change testing will be marked with a lane change sign and will have the right-of-way on the straights when displaying a flashing red strobe light. Passing an active lane change vehicle is prohibited. The strobe light must be turned off in the curves where lane deviant testing is not permitted. A solid red light in the high-speed lane warns that a high-speed test is in progress. All other vehicles are prohibited from entering the high-speed lane while this test is taking place. A flashing red light in one or all lanes indicates that those lanes are closed for exclusive use, test course repairs, or other unsafe conditions. Vehicles conducting brake testing will be marked with a brake test or sudden stop sign affixed to the rear of the vehicle. Brake testing may take place in the low-speed lane or in the brake test lanes located on each side of the oval. At the end of each brake lane, a cooler provides forced cool air to lower the temperature of the brake system components. White mini-skip road striping runs adjacent to the brake lanes as well as the entrances and exits on the oval. Stopping is not permitted next to or within 50 feet of these mini-skips, including both the low-speed lane and the shoulder. Like the surrounding desert, ATC is home to many types of animals. Rabbits, coyotes, and other wild animals are often seen crossing the test roads. If you see an animal on the tracks, notify TC Control via radio of the animal's location. This will alert other drivers of the potential hazard. Drivers should not swerve to avoid hitting an animal, as this can cause a more serious accident. All incidents and accidents must be reported to TC Control immediately, and an accident incident report must be completed within 24 hours. An incident is defined as any time a vehicle unintentionally leaves the roadway, any time a vehicle strikes another vehicle or object, whether in the track areas, building area, or garages, or any circumstance that creates an unsafe condition. An accident is defined as any time there is damage to a vehicle or property, however slight, as the result of an incident. Drivers should not leave the scene of an incident or accident, and the involved vehicles should not be moved unless necessary to aid an injured person, to avert the spread of fire, or to eliminate a hazard. Emergencies can be reported on radio channel 1 or 2, calling security at extension 4106, or a 911 operator at 911 from a landline phone or 911 from a cell phone. The on-site medic and the emergency response team will respond and assume responsibility of the scene upon arrival. Drivers should yield the right-of-way to emergency vehicles displaying red and blue flashing lights or sounding a siren. Test vehicles should pull to the side of the road and await further instructions from TC Control. Please drive responsibly and remember these safety guidelines. Seat belts are required at all times when a vehicle is in motion. No vehicle testing in the building area or on access roads. Testing must be conducted on test courses only. There is no stopping adjacent to or within 50 feet of the mini-skip lines on the high-speed oval. No stopping in the mid or high-speed lanes of the oval. Call TC Control when entering and exiting the durability and marketability courses. Report all accidents, incidents, or driving regulation infractions to TC Control immediately. Do not drive beyond your capabilities. For further information, please consult your Driving Regulations and Test Course Operating Procedures Handbook. We appreciate your cooperation in keeping your safety and the safety of others a top priority.
Welcome to one of the most challenging places on Earth, the Nissan Arizona Testing Center, starting point for 7,000 quality and durability tests and 800,000 miles of road testing, and a fanatical dedication to make Nissan the toughest commercial vehicles you can buy. Live on the coast? Drive on salted roads? You know rust is a killer. But it's not even close to what we do here. The Salt Spray Tunnel, a 5% salt solution, just like the ocean, covers the body and gets sprayed into gaps, crevices, and components. Once the vehicle is coated, it's time for a bake in the heat chamber. 266 lights, up to 140 degrees, and 95% humidity. Then, just to make sure the salt gets worked into every suspension component, chassis rail, and hinge, we drive. Salt, bake, drive, repeat. Over and over, simulating years in some of the most corrosive conditions you can imagine. Rust, we've got you covered. Sometimes the road itself is the enemy, so we test on the most ruthless. Fixed stones, Belgian blocks, rough concrete, splash course. After all, this vehicle is your livelihood. Durability is critical, so we go to extremes you never will. Like the shaker. It can simulate any stretch of road or recreate a situation that happened out on the course. Here, our engineers can get hands-on to pinpoint a problem, something impossible in the real world. Then there's the frame twist, a section so stressful it can snap suspension parts like twigs. Components make it through this before they make it onto our vehicles. 185-pound water dummies put NV Passenger through a real workout. Cargo vehicles are tested with racks and bins in place. Real work's not just tough on a vehicle, it's tough on you too. So we go the distance to make sure you're going to be comfortable. And this is no Sunday drive either. Patched asphalt, freeway hop, ruts, and more. Checking for noise, judging ride quality, fine-tuning the steering and handling so that every mile is as good and feels as good as the first. Your job doesn't always end where the road does. So even if the job site looks like a battle zone, we engineer the vehicle to be able to take some big hits. Potholes, dips, even a 4x4 beam. It's gotta hold together. We test the cargo mounting points, so bins and racks stay in place. And we load it up just like you do. Then we take it out on a high-speed oval. So wherever the job takes you, and whatever you take to the job, you don't run out of toughness. Nissan Commercial Vehicles, with over 7,000 quality and durability tests. Innovation that excites.